Good afternoon, California EMS. My name is Jennifer Lim, Deputy Director with the California Emergency Medical Services Authority. You have logged on to our 2020 statewide EMS Awards. Be prepared to be astounded by our presentation of superheroes. I would like to kick off this celebratory event by introducing my co-host, Ken Gray.
Thank you, Jennifer. Hello and welcome everyone to the 14th annual California EMS Awards ceremony. We're broadcasting live from the California EMS Authority headquarters in Rancho Cordova, California. This year, due to the impacts of COVID-19, Emsa chose to continue the monumental tradition that is the California EMS Awards using a virtual platform. Normally, the awards ceremony takes place in December of each year, and we had hoped pushing the date forward would allow for an in-person event. In so many ways, Emsa and the EMS community have adapted to the circumstances of the pandemic to deliver timely and appropriate best care, and today's awards program certainly fits that mold. I would like to introduce two very special guests we have joining us today, but first let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Well, it was spring. I think with the temperatures, it's more summer now. So this year, we are using the virtual event platform Paragon to host our awards, which is what you've logged on to. Paragon is a feature-rich digital event tool that empowers clients like Emsa to design events to gain deeper insights, engage their audiences on a greater level, and create tailored participant experiences to present the right message to the right people at the right time. We are grateful for Paragon's collaboration and excited to be able to bring today's virtual awards program to you remotely. If you're joining us from your computer, you will see a complete list of the awards and the recipients in the upper left side of the screen. Simply scroll through the list to view each award and recipient. If you're on a mobile, your view is a little different. You can navigate to the Participants tab on your screen to view the complete list. If you're having any difficulties with the platform, please type any questions into the support chat in the lower left corner. For mobile users, you can navigate to the chat tab. Live technical support is available to assist you. You can also click the question mark in the lower right-hand corner of the screen to activate the help menu. Now, it's my great pleasure to introduce two individuals to you. The first who will be speaking is EMS Commissioner Dr. Attila Uner, and he will be followed by Emsa's Director, Dr. Dave Duncan. Dr. Uner.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as the chair of the California Commission on EMS, it is my pleasure to be present at the California EMS Authority's EMS Award, where we recognize the EMS providers who are actually doing the hard work of providing EMS care to the people of California. We have many deserving award recipients. To start out, I would like to introduce you to Dr. David Duncan, the Medical Director of the California EMS Services Authority. It is hard to think of a more accomplished emergency physician than Dr. Duncan. After training at UC San Diego and UC Davis, he became the Medical Director for the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection and for the CalStar Air Ambulance Service, and later became the Executive Medical Director for Reach Medical Holdings, serving over 50 air ambulance bases. In 2019, he became the Medical Director for the California EMS Authority, just in time to preside over California's EMS response to the COVID pandemic, the largest mass infectious disease emergency in our nation for nearly a century. He started by organizing the disembarkment and quarantine of exposed cruise ship passengers. But with increasing numbers of infections, the challenges escalated. Under Dr. Duncan's leadership, the EMS Authority soon set up emergency hospitals across the state called alternate care sites, organized mass patient movements across many county lines to disimpact overwhelmed local intensive care units, facilitated recruitment and licensure of nurses, paramedics, and EMTs across state lines, helped expand the scope of practice to allow EMS personnel to set up mass COVID testing and vaccination sites among countless other initiatives to save lives and decrease suffering for the people of California. If there ever was a trial by fire for an EMS authority medical director, this was it. He handled it all with calm and his signature sense of humor, and under his leadership, hatchets were buried, all squabbling stopped, and all of EMS pulled in the same direction. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. David Duncan, Medical Director of the California Emergency Medical Services Authority.
Attila, thank you so much for those kind words. We are absolutely blessed to have you. I was going to do an introduction, but not reading the agenda closely enough, you've already been introduced, and generally you require no introduction. But as the new Dr. Chairman of the EMS Commission, let me speak for all of California that we're honored to have you, and thank you for your service. You've had your first and only commission meeting thus far, and I'll say stellar performance. I can't compare to others because there was a friend recently there, so I'll just leave it at that and say thank you so much for serving with us, and thanks for those incredibly kind words. I want to just dive in and let us all sort of take pleasure in setting the EMS grinds of our day aside for a minute or maybe for a couple of hours, and take some time to enjoy the day, to enjoy the remainder of this afternoon, and honor these 38 individuals who in the course of their careers have stepped up far beyond the typical calls of duty that we see. These men and women demonstrate outstanding accomplishments in EMS, and for that we would like to take this time to honor them all. These folks, like so many others over the last year, and I think I'm going to put that statement in bold. This should be a 2-day awards ceremony. All our eyes should be just computer strained, as they may well be. But there are so many folks that did so much during this, it's hard to pick 38. These folks were nominated and clearly rise up at the top of the pack. But there's been so much incredible work done that I want to pay particular attention to that and all the gaps that were filled by so many. So since the start of this pandemic, every aspect of our being, of our EMS systems have been stretched and strained. But we in EMS have always stepped up, and we did that again over the last year and a half. Folks typically and continue to place their own health and safety on the line to serve California and its citizens in a capacity never previously seen. And I'll knock on wood when I say, and hopefully not seen again in at least my lifetime, maybe your lifetimes. But over the past 16 or slightly more months, EMS has filled every gap in the healthcare system, including places we never imagined ourselves. I mean, the first one that comes to mind is skilled nursing facilities. When we first dove into filling the gaps and the staffing needs in skilled nursing facilities, we didn't think that would be successful. We thought, we'll never sort of survive in this environment. That's not for us. We stepped up, we excelled, we got compliments day in, day out, and we filled that bill for the entire year and a half. It was really, really amazing to watch. But also alternate care sites, hospitals, emergency departments, ICUs, so many others, and all with such incredible grace. From that really first day that I kind of set my starting gate, March 9th, when the Grand Princess cruise liner docked at the port of Oakland. That felt like so long ago, having to try and disembark, thousands of patients, or thousands of persons, but about 90 patients disseminated all over Northern California. That was so difficult. And we sort of felt like, wow, this is the worst of it. And, little quick checkbox, and away we go to rounds 2 through 99, which all were worse than that, but a nice warm up for us all. This has been an absolute incredible team effort, as I've exemplified already. We've had over 88,000 active licensed EMTs and paramedics, over 30,000 out-of-state medical providers that have come in to help support us in California, over 1,000 CalMAT members, 4,000 contracted medical staff at any one time, 650 California healthcare personnel, 1,500 disaster healthcare volunteers, and so many other medical and non-medical personnel that, we're asking the question, what can I do? What would you like me to do? Where would you like me to go? And folks just dove in. We're sitting in a good place now. We have 60% of our California population vaccinated, leading the pack in the US. But we're certainly not out of the woods. We've got little curveballs coming our way, like the Delta variant. Again, I'm maybe not following my own rules. I'm supposed to set that aside, enjoy these couple hours, and not think about such things. So let's do that. Let's take a look at the incredible collaboration, commitment, coordination, and probably most pertinently perseverance that we've got to witness over the last year and a half. And pay particular tribute to the folks that demonstrated those characteristics so amazingly over the last year and a half. So thanks for being here, everybody. It's my absolute pleasure to participate. It's been my absolute pleasure to participate over the last year and a half, although I wouldn't do it again. Sorry, something in my throat. And now I'll send the microphone right back to Kent. Thank you.
Thank you both, Dr. Duncan and Dr. Uner. And I think the only viruses we should worry about today for this moment will be computer viruses. So before we get into the awards categories, it's important that I mention the generous support from our sponsors who make this event possible. We are grateful for their support, and I would like to acknowledge and thank each of this year's sponsors before we begin. First off, platinum sponsor, American Medical Response Reach Air Medical Services, which are both subsidiaries of GMR, Global Medical Response. Then our gold sponsor, the CareStar Foundation, and our silver sponsor, Life Assist Incorporated. Thank you all very much for your support of this event. We could not have made this possible without you. Now, I would like to introduce my co-host. Did the name spelled right there? Oh yeah, Sergi Elmorchetti, who has been instrumental in helping put together this virtual ceremony together. Sergi's going to give you a brief overview of how today's events will unfold.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sergi Elmorchetti, third co-host with Emsa here today. Since 2007, this awards program has gained greater participation and support with each passing year. Our country and state have continued to undergo great sorrow with mass casualty incidents and environmental disasters, which continue to flex our EMS systems like never before. However, when called to duty, our coordinated systems prevail due to our professional EMS personnel and the collaboration that's built into our mutual aid system. Today, we have a moment to recognize the best of the best, those who rose above the everyday heroics all EMS professionals already perform. Thank you for joining us in recognizing the year 2020 recipients of the California EMS Awards. As Kent mentioned, in previous years, this event was held in person in a formal ballroom setting that we so wish to bring back in 2021. Due to the state of emergency, executive orders around public gathering, Emsa was required to hold this event virtually. Typically, we hold it at the end of the year at a ballroom in San Francisco. Given all the activity last year, we decided to push until the beginning of 2021, and so did COVID. So here we are in July. Thank you. The awards categories are unchanged, as are the order in which they will be presented. Today, we will start by announcing certificate awardees, then make our way through the various medal categories, finally finishing with our 4 of the year awards for EMS Administrator, EMS Medical Director, EMS Educator, and EMT of the Year. We have the pleasure today for the 2020 of the Year Awards of having some special presenters, including Dr. Duncan and Dr. Uner, and some of our friends with Global Medical Response and the CareStar Foundation. Because of the sheer number of awardees, 38 or so, we thought it prudent to save everyone from, the Zoom kerfuffle hassle of turning mics on, cameras on for acceptance speeches. And instead, we asked recipients to submit a brief acceptance video. As Kent, Jennifer, somewhere around here, and myself make our way through the awards presentation, we'll have the pleasure of hearing from many, many of today's awardees. So thank you for joining along with us. Let's get started.
Okay.
This year, we have 2 Clinical Excellence Awardees and 4 Certificate of Commendation recipients. Scott Perryman of Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District and Marliana Richardson of AMR Contra Costa are receiving the Clinical Excellence Award for 2020. Certificates of commendation are being presented to Susan Arredondo of Deer Haven Inn, Kenroy Simon of Holiday Inn Rancho Cordova, and Blaine Engelbert and Tracy Jacobs of Rancho Cordova High School. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you for all that you do. Now, let's get started with our medal recipients. First, the Distinguished Service Award recognizes an individual for distinguished service or achievement affecting statewide EMS over an extended period of time. First to join us on stage is Charles Dressen of Moorpark from AMR Ventura County.
Charles is being awarded the Distinguished Service Medal for decades of professional service and immeasurable contributions to the EMS industry. Dr. Charles Dressen began working as the first board-certified emergency medical physician in Ventura County in 1981. Knowing how important paramedics could be to the EMS system, he worked hard to bring paramedics to Ventura County. Working with peers from other hospitals and other ambulance companies in the region, he formed a committee to study the feasibility of paramedic program in the county. While serving as medical director for Caroline Ambulance Services, Dr. Dressen contributed to the success of several innovations in the EMS industry, including the development of 2 incredibly successful community paramedicine programs in Ventura and the development of the new cardiac arrest management system that resulted in Ventura and Santa Barbara counties having some of the best cardiac arrest survival rates in the nation. Here now is Dr. Charles Dressen.
I'm honored to be receiving the Distinguished Service Medal from the EMS agency. I appreciate all the support from so many individuals over the past 46 years in the EMS agency. The award is timely as my retirement is coming soon after 50 years in the medical profession. Again, thank you for this honor.
I'm back. Next to be awarded the Distinguished Service Medal is Chief Mark Hartwig of Santa Barbara County Fire. Chief Hartwig, who has graciously served on the state's Commission on EMS since 2012, is being honored this year for over 10 years of exemplary service and leadership in healthcare for the citizens of California. Chief Hartwig has been a model leader in EMS in the field for decades. And we're not saying that distinguished award winners are older, but they have been around for a while. So Chief Hartwig has been advocating for the citizens of the state and the public servants that serve them. Having been described as an invaluable asset and an effective leader, Hartwig is the current fire chief of Santa Barbara County. He had been the fire chief at the San Bernardino County Fire Department from 2011 to 2019, and he served as the deputy fire chief at the Rancho Cucamonga Fire District from 2007 to 2011, where he was the battalion chief from 2005 to 2007. Chief Hartwig served in several positions at the San Bernardino County Fire Department from 1992 to 2005, including fire captain, apparatus engineer, and the training and safety officer. He is the chair of the California Metropolitan Fire Chiefs Association and legislative director at the California Fire Chiefs Association. So pre-recorded, here's Chief Hartwig.
Thank you for honoring me for my work in EMS. I think back almost 40 years ago, 1983, starting as an EMT on an ambulance company and really wondering if 40 years would even come about. Now I think of all the things that have happened over my career, really, all of that is due to and owed to my colleagues, my family, my wife, and my mom that raised 7 crazy kids. Thank you again. I'm honored.
And next up, we recognize Christopher Hauser of the San Diego Fire Rescue Department. Christopher is being awarded the Distinguished Service Medal for his over 50 years of service in the medical field as an innovator and leader in EMS. Chief Christopher Hauser is a paramedic and registered nurse who began his career in the United States Army in 1968 as a special operations medic. Hauser operated as a medical liaison to the United States Secret Service, contributed to many EMS studies in the 1980s and 1990s, developed military and non-military tactical EMS education material, and led multiple task force related to active shooter and weapons of mass destruction response. He is the incident commander to the City of San Diego's Operation Shelter to Home, under which the city's homeless population has been sheltered at the San Diego Convention Center with wraparound services to prevent death and illness among unhoused individuals.
I was both surprised and honored when I found out I was not only recommended but awarded the Distinguished Service Medal from the State EMS Authority. This is a significant honor. I've been in EMS for approximately 50 years, and when I started as a paramedic, the EMS Authority didn't exist. So I've had an opportunity to see exactly how much they've provided to my profession. I'd also like to thank all the individuals and mentors I've had throughout my career. This is less a reflection of me and more a reflection of them, so thank you.
Great. Next, we have Dr. Clayton Kazan of the Los Angeles County Fire Department. Dr. Kazan is being distinguished for his dedication to the EMS community for more than 25 years and his hard work during the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Kazan has guided the EMS industry during a very uncertain time and helped train EMS personnel in a way that gave them direction and confidence in a time when answers were hard to come by. He provided guidance and science-backed facts to pre-hospital personnel, ensuring they were educated. As a dedicated professional, Dr. Kazan has improved the patient experience through the implementation of new programs. As the medical director of the Los Angeles County Fire Department, Dr. Kazan has taken the department in a direction beneficial to its customers and provided a new concept of medical assistance to paramedics. Let's hear from Dr. Kazan now.
Hi everybody, my name is Clayton Kazan and I'm the medical director for the LA County Fire Department. Thank you to the California EMS Authority for including me in this award. It's very humbling to be included alongside such outstanding individuals. I want to say how inspired and blessed I feel to work with such an amazing team each and every day, and I'd be remiss if I didn't count the most important team, and that is my wife and 2 kids who've had to deal with me being an absentee father and husband through much of the pandemic. I'm very deeply honored. Thank you.
Also receiving the Distinguished Service Award, we have William Mulkerin of Palo Alto from Stanford University School of Medicine. With dedicated commitment, Dr. William Mulkerin is heavily involved in training firefighters in the necessary county policies, new procedures, medications, and more. Dr. Mulkerin also commits himself to reoccurring training, including infrequent skills for both paramedics and EMTs, and assists local fire agencies with trauma classes and active assailant training. During an active assailant event, Dr. Mulkerin assisted and advised the incident commanders as they worked through the strategy and tactics of the incident. During the pandemic, he was always available to provide guidance for best PPE practices and updated information regarding changes to protocols and policies. The training and education that he provides has been a valuable resource to fire department members and his dedication to excellence motivates the department to provide the best pre-hospital service.
Hello, I'm Bill Mulcairn from Stanford EMS. I'm really honored to have been awarded the EMS Distinguished Service Medal. I want to thank the California EMS Authority, and I want to especially thank Chief Winnan and the rest of his team at Morgan Hill Fire and South Santa Clara Fire Protection District. It's truly an honor to have been awarded this medal, and I really appreciate getting to work with Chief Winnan and his team, as well as Gilroy Fire and the other fire departments that I'm able to work with day in and day out. So thank you.
Lastly, we have Karen Wright of AMR Contra Costa County being awarded the Distinguished Service Medal for 2020. As a field training officer, Karen Wright has trained countless newly hired paramedics and has provided critical support to clinical education by instructing field crews during quarterly training sessions. Wright contributes to the successes of AMR as an acting operations supervisor for 3 divisions and a member of its critical incident stress management team. Selflessly serving as a member of a system status committee which helps identify areas of sustainment and improvement, Wright contributes to a more robust and efficient 911 ambulance system. While deployed as an ambulance strike team leader, her actions and leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic helped medical crews care for many, many patients.
Hello, my name is Karen Wright. I'm a paramedic with Contra Costa County, and I must say I am very, very honored to be named as a recipient for the California EMS Distinguished Service Award. I am also very humbled because I am being recognized for just doing something I enjoy doing. I enjoy teaching through FTO and preceptor and passing on that knowledge, especially to the next generation of EMS. I enjoy the challenges that come when I'm performing my duties as an acting supervisor or supporting my peers through our awesome CISM team, and also for going and doing stuff on deployment like with those last year over COVID. It was a great challenge. I learned lots of things, met lots of cool people, and really it was a great experience. And for all that, I'm being honored for doing something I enjoy. I'm humbled. Thank you. And I'd also like to thank the AMR Contra Costa operations team for recognizing my hard work over the years. Thank you very, very much. I'm very humbled.
Congratulations to all these distinguished individuals for their dedication to advancing the state's EMS systems of care. Next award, the EMS Cross. The EMS Cross recognizes a uniformed EMT who by act or deed represents the most outstanding achievement or accomplishment in EMS over an extended period of time.
Okay. First up is Nicole Scott of Marin County EMS Novato Fire Protection District. She's being awarded the EMS Cross for her dedication, leadership, and innovative thinking to address the behavioral health of firefighters. Firefighter and paramedic Nicole Scott is dedicated to the community she serves and provides high-level care to all patients. As Novato Fire Department's 2017 Employee of the Year, Scott genuinely cares about the health and safety of all our firefighters and actively seeks new and innovative ways to share what she has learned with colleagues. Scott has founded the local and regional qualified and competent counselors and resources and connected those resources to fellow firefighters in beneficial, meaningful ways. So selected by the Northern California Fire Chiefs Association to participate in the Behavioral Health Task Force, Scott has taken many hours of training and has now become one of the leading voices in the state for peer support. And here is Nicole Scott.
I'm honored and humbled to receive the EMS Cross Award. I feel it's so important to not only address behavioral health with firefighters, but also everyone in the EMS world. In our line of work, we see so much human suffering, And I want everyone to know that it's okay not to be okay, and that asking for help is an absolute sign of strength and courage and not weakness. I'd like to thank everyone at Novato Fire and our local 1775 for supporting our behavioral health and peer support programs. I'd also like to recognize the California Firefighter Behavioral Health Task Force for bringing awareness around behavioral health and helping end the stigma around behavioral health issues for firefighters. It's been an honor to work with these individuals for the past 5 years. I'd like to thank you again for this incredible recognition, and I'm looking forward to continuing to support behavioral health throughout the EMS world. Thank you.
All right. Congratulations to Nicole and thank you. Next, we have Kristen Thompson of the Newport Beach Fire Department, who's receiving the EMS Cross for her 14 plus years of leadership and innovative thinking within the EMS industry. Chief Kristen Thompson joined Anaheim Fire and Rescue in 2007 as a part-time nurse educator, and in 2015 was promoted to Emergency Medical Services Education Manager. As chief of the Newport Beach Fire Department EMS Division, in partnership with the Counseling Team International, Chief Thompson hosts a significant other survival, or SOS, workshop focusing on fire family wellness and challenges affecting the firefighters and their close relationships. During the pandemic, Chief Thompson has brought positive change to her department by implementing a weekly COVID-19 meeting. This meeting has been a vital resource for gathering information on this ever-changing pandemic and the response to it. Additionally, Chief Thompson's tireless efforts on the subject of first responder wellness have been a major positive to the EMS industry. Here now is Chief Kristen Thompson.
Thank you to the EMS Authority. It's truly an honor to receive an award like the EMS Cross, especially this year of all years. Thank you very much.
Next recipient of the EMS Cross is Mark Silapaka of American Medical Response. Mark is being awarded the EMS Cross for his 20 years of leadership within EMS, as well as his professionalism and outstanding performance during the COVID-19 pandemic. Mark is a paramedic and field training officer with American Medical Response in San Diego. Throughout the pandemic, he's been working on the front line in high-risk settings and has been deployed multiple times since the onset when things were still very unknown. Mark became one of the first healthcare providers in the region to handle COVID-19 cases among evacuees quarantined at Marine Corps Air Station Miramar. He played a vital role assisting with providing briefings to the fire department, police department, and all incoming ambulances. Let's hear from Mark. Congratulations.
Mark Selapak, paramedic with AMR of San Diego. It's an incredible honor to receive the EMS Cross. Thank you, California EMS Authority, for this recognition. This is not just for me. The credit deserved is to all the amazing men and women that I've been fortunate enough to work with. Thank you again.
To all three 2020 EMS Cross Award winners. The Meritorious Service Medal is the next award we'll be presenting today. The Meritorious Service Medal recognizes an individual for a meritorious act or service within EMS. This award also recognizes an EMT for an act that is above and beyond the call of duty in the course of a particular EMS emergency or event.
First up, we have paramedic Kevin Anderson of Sacramento from American Medical Response, or AMR. Kevin is receiving the Meritorious Service Medal for his hard work and selfless dedication throughout the COVID-19 response. Mr. Anderson has worked in EMS the Sacramento County area for over 25 years. On top of his duties as paramedic and paramedic supervisor at home, Anderson provided leadership while serving in key roles as the state responded to some of the largest EMS events ever. Anderson deployed to the Port of Oakland at the arrival of the Grand Princess cruise ship, serving as leadership overhead and staging officer. He traveled to New Jersey during the second major COVID-19 surge to support the state's EMS and patient care systems during the time of extreme urgent need. Upon returning to California, Anderson deployed to support the state's wildfire missions, serving in lead ambulance strike team roles in support of the CZU complex fire, the Napa fire, and the August complex fire. Here now is Kevin Anderson.
I'm truly humbled by this acknowledgement. I would like to also recognize the other members of AMR's incident management team that I'm proud to be a part of. As we all know, it takes more than just a single individual to provide for a safe and successful operation. I'd also like to thank and acknowledge my wife, Yvonne, who was able to keep our house going while I was deployed for over 3 months in 2020 on 6 different activations. From a global pandemic to massive California wildfires, I'm pretty sure 2020 is going to provide some lessons learned that we'll be able to use going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin, and congratulations. Next up, we have a 4-pack of EMTs from Royal Ambulance. John Chu, Zachary Jimenez, Amri Pasquale, and Gina Piazza. Seeing the critical need for more assistance in skilled nursing facilities, Royal Ambulance started Project Helping Hands to send their EMTs to alleviate the staffing shortages caused by EMS personnel becoming ill, the expectations of the crews, and what jobs they would be performing while on site to create training content for the entire field team. Pasquale took it upon herself to build a team of EMTs and coordinated care across the many facilities in the Bay Area that were in need of support. Both Chu and Jimenez put in more than 1,000 hours and thought of ways to help the facilities create new processes that would keep their residents safe. These 4 individuals are being awarded for their outstanding work ethic and dedication to patients during the COVID-19 pandemic. And here now are each of our 4 winners.
Hi, my name is John Chu with Royal Ambulance. I want to say it's an honor for me to be receiving this award, and to thank Royal for nominating me and for giving me the opportunity to be there for the community during the time of need.
Thank you, Royal Ambulance, for nominating me for this award. When I first joined Operation Helping Hands, I decided I was going to help the community with COVID and to give back to the facilities that I work at. I didn't think anything of this getting nominated for an award for the state of California, or the countless hours that I did work with my amazing partner John and my 2 supervisors, Amri Pascal and Gina. Once again, thank you for nominating us forward, and I appreciate it very much.
Hi, my name is Amri Pasquale and I work for Royal Ambulance, and I just wanted to thank Royal for nominating me for this award. Project Helping Hands was a big push to help out the community, and I'm very proud to be a part of that.
Next up for this award is Scott Hatcher of the UC Davis Fire Department. He is being awarded the Meritorious Service Award for his hard work and excellence in serving the community during the COVID-19 vaccination response. At the University of California, Davis, or UC Davis, administrators needed vaccinators to meet the needs of vaccinating faculty, students, and EMS and medical personnel in mass numbers. As an alumni of UC Davis, Captain Scott Hatcher created the university's student EMT program, providing real-world experience to college students in pre-hospital care. Going above and beyond the call of duty, Hatcher responded with tremendous effort, organizing vaccinators and playing an integral role in the development of the vaccination clinic itself. His plan created amazing results, with student firefighters, student EMTs, and 27 of 59 fire employees becoming vaccinators, all administering more than 5,000 vaccines at the University Davis site. Congratulations to Scott Hatcher. And here's a
Hello, my name is Scott Hatcher, and I'm the EMS captain for the UC Davis Fire Department. I was very surprised to receive this award, and I am very honored and humbled. I could not have done this without the support of my family, the university, the Yolo County EMS Agency, and the fire department. Lastly, I would like to thank all the career and student employees who dedicated their time to work at the vaccination clinic, and they continue to do so today. Once again, I am very honored and humbled. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Christopher Herring of the Imperial County EMS Agency, is also receiving this award in correlation to his contributions during the COVID-19 pandemic for his extraordinary dedication, engagement, and leadership in Imperial County. As EMS manager and public health manager for the county, Christopher has provided constant oversight and leadership that was crucial to the EMS and county response. Christopher coordinated resources and managed staffing distribution and public health information disbursement. A few of the initiatives Herring completed include PPE distribution, alternate care site creation, and vaccination clinic training and coordination. Instrumental in coordinating ambulance strike teams, Herring continues to be a thriving force in distribution, implementation, and mitigation of vaccines throughout the heavily impacted Imperial County.
We're also recognizing Eric Jarvis, the San Joaquin County EMS, is receiving the Meritorious Service Medal for his professionalism and quick actions which helped de-escalate a stressful and possibly dangerous situation. Eric Jarvis was at the scene when Lodi Police Department tried to convince a patient under the influence of a controlled substance to let go of her children and go to the hospital. Jarvis gained the trust of the patient and was able to take the small children from her. Jarvis maintained custody of the children while the officers found other family members to come get the children. The Lodi police sergeant was impressed with Jarvis's willingness to go above and beyond his job description to help with the situation.
Thank you, Kent. The next person we are honoring on our virtual stage is Travis Kuzman of the San Mateo County EMS Agency. Travis is being awarded for his innovative achievements and extraordinary contributions to the EMS system. At the local level, Travis is a San Mateo County's EMS director. At the statewide EMS system level, he is currently the president of Emsa, serving as its disaster committee chair and representative of the California Department of Public Health and Emergency Medical Services Authority's Joint Advisory Committee on Health Emergency Preparedness, and also the California Public Health and Medical EOM Work Group. A few successful initiatives implemented under Travis's leadership include the San Mateo County Healthcare Site Outreach Support Team, a newly creative program for the COVID-19 pandemic. It best serves vulnerable individuals' medical and health needs, the successful establishment of the Seton Hospital as a state asset for the receipt and care of critically ill COVID-19 patients during the outbreak at San Quentin State Prison, and also the early development and operationalization of 2 mass vaccination sites within the county.
Thank you, California EMS Authority, for your recognition in the form of the Meritorious Service Award. This past year has certainly been one of many changes and difficult challenges, yet also newfound roles and tremendous successes within EMS. I'm accepting this award today on behalf of the San Mateo County EMS system and its Emt Program, which not only accomplished great successes in responding to COVID within the county, but also provided tremendous support to the region as well as broader statewide efforts. Again, thank you so much for this acknowledgement.
Jeffrey Martin of the Contra Costa County Health Services EMS is receiving a Meritorious Service Medal for his dedication, flexibility, and expertise during the Contra Costa County's COVID-19 response. Paramedic and pre-hospital coordinator Jeffrey Martin forged new paths to serve the needs of the state during this time of challenge and need. Responding with creative innovation, he provided essential information for the division, county, and state decision makers. Martin created databases and taught staff how to use the data, chaired recurring meetings, which provided a structure for regular communication, and set up barriers to help keep all in-office staff protected and distanced from each other, making sure remote staff had equipment they needed to work as well. Martin also created a database which identified the medical supplies for disasters, and he helped deliver PPE to skilled nursing facilities in need. The county health department and individual doctors remained informed, and all staff stayed safe and connected thanks to Martin's hard work. Thank you, Jeffrey Martin.
Thank you. And I must say thank you to everyone so far. And this year's video clips have really brought something special to our show. Okay, we've got 3 more to go. We're on a roll now. How you feeling, Jennifer? Want to jump in here?
Why, thank you, Kent. I feel like Lily Tomlin here. My goodness. All right. Next up is EMS Administrator Ted Selby of the Solano County EMS Agency. He is being awarded for his outstanding accomplishments and extraordinary leadership as the EMS Administrator of Solano County. Focused on a better future, Ted Selby's dedication and hard work made Solano County a leader in pre-hospital and hospital care in just 10 years. Selby was a major facilitator in applying for and maintaining Medic Ambulance's community paramedic program. Solano County was on the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic since January 2020. That seems like forever ago. When the first planes containing COVID positive travelers arrived at Travis Air Force Base from China. Selby spearheaded EMS response with all the cooperating state, local, and federal agencies and collaborated with providers in disaster response and readiness. Selby is currently creating a process for stroke designation and receiving centers, committed to ensuring Solano County residents receive the highest quality of care. In my birth home. Also, Ted has the velvet voice of TV and radio. Let's take a look and listen.
I want to start by saying I am truly honored to receive this award as I prepare to retire. Ted Selby here. I didn't see this coming when I took on the role of Solano County EMS Administrator in 2010, and I certainly wouldn't be here without the support of partners like Medic Ambulance, Kaiser Permanente, North Bay Healthcare, our fire departments, and others. A lot has happened since 2010. We created a STEMI system, a Level 2 trauma system, an EMS agency for a bordering jurisdiction, an ALS with RN level of service, an EDAP program, and finally a full functioning stroke system. Not to mention managing medical transport and placement for the repatriation missions bringing U.S. citizens home to Travis Air Force Base from Asia. And now I'm going to close with a quote. In the immortal words of Bob Hope, thanks for the memories.
Next up, Jeffrey Schultz of AMR Ventura County is being presented with the Meritorious Service Award for his more than 18 years of leadership within the EMS community and his guidance during the COVID-19 pandemic. Paramedic Jeffrey Schultz currently serves as Administrative Supervisor for AMR and Gold Coast Ambulance in Ventura County. He has been an integral part of the leadership team through significant historic events, including the Thomas Fire, the Borderline Shooting, the Woolsey Fire, Hill Fire, and many more. Always willing to take on extra tasks to ensure the mission of the organization is accomplished, Schultz quickly implemented a plan to provide staffing for County and Ventura COVID testing sites. He hired and trained dozens of EMTs who have, in turn, facilitated hundreds of thousands of COVID tests within the county. In addition to managing several COVID testing sites, Schultz was also responsible for tracking and managing PPE supply for Ventura County, which posed a significant challenge early on and throughout the pandemic. Schultz consistently displayed professionalism and flexibility throughout these challenging times. Congratulations, Jeffrey.
Congratulations. Lastly, for the Meritorious Service Medal, we have Lisa Biart Smith of Contra Costa EMS. Lisa is being awarded for her hard work, dedication, and management of the Medical Reserve Corps volunteers during the COVID-19 response. Since 2013, Lisa has managed the day-to-day operation, activities, and administration of the 200 volunteers of the Contra Costa County MRC. Always available to her volunteers, Lisa not only recruits and trains them, but mentors them in order to build their resiliency and leadership. In 2020, she developed a congregate care training team of primarily nurses who visit congregate care facilities to assess needs of the staff and train members in the proper use of personal protective equipment and infection prevention. Under her leadership, her staff trained more than 275 staff members in over 29 facilities and assisted training paramedics in proper vaccine administration. The Contra Costa MRC program has been successful largely due to her steadfast commitment and leadership. Thank you to all of the 2020 Meritorious Service Award recipients.
Next up, we have the Medal of Valor. The Medal of Valor recognizes an EMT for acts of personal valor or heroism in the delivery of emergency medical care, which results in the saving of a life under extreme conditions and/or in extraordinary circumstances.
Today, Emsa is awarding Robert Statham and Marianne Taylor of AMR Redlands with the Medal of Valor for the year 2020. These two are receiving this award for their heroic life-saving efforts that helped free trapped occupants after a vehicle collision. Robert and Marianne rescued the passengers of the vehicle collision while their car was flipped on its side and rapidly filling up with water from a fire hydrant that had been sheared off because of the collision. Selflessly, the crew responded to the scene, risking their own lives in the process of rescuing the family. Robert and Marianne quickly broke the windshield of the vehicle, pulling the woman and her small children to safety. The family was thankfully uninjured and incredibly grateful for the crew's efforts. Here are Robert and Marianne.
Hi everyone, I just wanted to thank everyone for the Medal of Valor that me and my partner are receiving, and I hope everyone has a great year.
I want to thank you for receiving the Medal of Valor Award. I want to thank everybody who helped support me, including my wife and kids who are always there for me, all the AMR supervisors who are always here helping me, guiding me along, and getting me to where I am today. Thank you everybody so much.
And congratulations to Robert and Marianne. Thank you for your efforts. Well done.
Thank you. Next up, we have the Life Saving Medal, which recognizes an EMS provider who, while in an off-duty or volunteer capacity, makes an extremely noteworthy contribution to efforts that result in the saving of a life.
Kristen Mardigan and Francesca Williams of AMR Redlands are this year's EMS Life Saving Medal recipients. We recognize these two for saving the life of a young boy when responding to the scene of a pediatric full arrest. Kristen and Francesca discovered a 15-month-old boy had accidentally fallen into a koi pond. They immediately took over life-saving resuscitation efforts, exhibiting calm and professionalism throughout the 14 minutes from their arrival on scene to their arrival at the hospital. Their teamwork and speed were paramount in saving the young boy's life. Here now are Kristen and Francesca.
First of all, thank you. I'm very humbled and honored to be able to accept this award. I also want to say that it would not have been possible without a bunch of awesome teamwork. Specifically, I'd like to thank my partner, Frankie Williams, the EMS physician that was on scene who just happened to be a neighbor, the awesome crews at Redlands Fire Department, and the receiving facility physician and his awesome team there at the hospital. Without all of us working together, we would not have gotten the outcome that we did. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Francesca Williams, and I'm accepting the Life Saving Medal. I just want to thank my mom for supporting me, my partner for being a great partner, and also for choosing me to accept this medal. It's such an honor to be able to receiving this medal. You know, I was just doing my job, and that's what we all are here to do. So thank you again.
Thank you, Kristen and Francesca. Congratulations. The Inter-Service Recognition Medal recognizes outstanding heroism, extraordinary service, or achievement of non-EMTs, such as police officers, firefighters, lifeguards, dispatchers, and other public safety officers. They are recognized for outstanding or exceptional support of a particular EMS emergency, event, or operation. First for Inter-Service is Marissa Chung of the San Francisco Police Department. SFPD officer Marissa Chung found and began caring for the first SF police officer Marissa Chung found and began caring for the first patient, having applied a tourniquet above the wounds properly and appropriately. This action alone resulted in stopping the bleeding that would have very likely resulted in the death of the patient, and it certainly prevented the patient from going into further shock. Officer Chung employed her prior training and experience as an EMT and went above and beyond the call of duty to risk her own health and set aside the chaos of the situation to employ simple yet effective emergency medical care to a patient experiencing trauma, resulting in the saving of that person's life. Congratulations, Marissa.
Hi everyone, I just want to say thank you so much for this award. It feels amazing to be recognized for something that I did as part of my duties as a police officer. And of course, I would not have been able to focus on the task of rendering aid at a chaotic scene without the assistance of my fellow SFPD Central Station Swing Watch officers, so they deserve some recognition as well. I also want to thank Gus Stewart for completing this nomination. Without him, I would not be receiving this award at all. So thank you so much, Gus.
Congratulations to Marissa, and thank you for your hard work. Next up, we have two more Inter-Service Recognition Awards being presented to officers from the Hawthorne Police Department. Jesse Lopez, Richard Valadez, and John Yoshida are being recognized for their heroic efforts, great communication, and teamwork to assist a 5-year-old patient who possibly drowned. EMT John Yoshida, officers Jesse Lopez and Richard Valadez noticed a frantic crowd of people at the hotel pool. Immediately realizing a child, pulseless, with intermittent breathing, was in need of aid, the officers began CPR. Officer Yoshida administered high-quality chest compressions, while Officer Lopez retrieved the AED from his medical bag, and Officer Valadez obtained the mask valve and began rescue breathing for the patient. The officers performed life-saving measures for a total of 3 minutes before the Los Angeles County Fire Department arrived on scene and relieved them. Shortly after the fire department arrived, the child began to breathe and regurgitated the water she had in her lungs. The firefighters and paramedics thanked all 3 officers for their quick response. And here now are those officers.
I want to thank you. Very honored to receive this recognition. I also want to thank the Hawthorne Police Department for their constant training that allows us to go out and help in situations like this. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Officer Yoshida with the Hawthorne Police Department. I want to thank everyone who's given me this opportunity for this award, especially for everyone who's pushed me and how far I've strived to become an officer here and do the best care and be the best officer I can.
Hello, I'd like to say thank you for the consideration of receiving this award. I'd like to thank my partners who were with me that day. Without them, I wouldn't have been able to get the job done. And thank you again for receiving this award.
Congratulations and thank you to all the officers for their heroic deeds. Lastly, Hawthorne police officers Birat Lattenbacher, Samantha Nagyaway, and John Yoshida are being awarded the Inter-Service Medal for their heroic and life-saving actions responding to a female patient who had sustained a gunshot wound. Officers Lattenbacher, Samantha Najue and John Yoshida arrived at a scene where shots were fired and a female was lying on the sidewalker. Officer Najue noticed large amounts of blood saturating the victim's clothes and surrounding her body. Officer Lettenbacher applied a tourniquet tightly to the victim's left upper thigh where she had sustained the gunshot wound, effectively stopping the life-threatening bleeding. Lettenbacher and Yoshida were able to determine that the loss of blood was in fact the result of the wound to the victim's left thigh, which had been successfully stopped by the tourniquet applied by Officer Lettenbacher. Due to the victim's severe loss of blood and the fact that she was now in and out of consciousness, she was rushed to the local trauma center for definitive care. The patient was found to have sustained damage to her femoral artery, which needed immediate surgical intervention for repair. Within minutes of arriving on scene, these officers were able to take life-saving action that prevented further blood loss and the loss of life. Here now are those officers.
Hello, my name is Officer Lundbacher with the Hawthorne Police Department. I want to thank everybody for allowing me to receive this award. It's a humbling experience, and I wouldn't change my career field for anything else. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this life-saving award, and thank you so much to my department for allowing us to teach tactical medicine, but also using it in the field. This is my first year as a police officer, and I couldn't be more excited for what I've already accomplished. Thank you.
Great. Now we're going to go to the Community Service Medals. The Community Service Award recognizes an EMT who has made outstanding commitments to non-patient care aspects to a community's EMS system. Special emphasis on EMS public information, education, and relations. This year, we're proud to recognize Melissa Leonelli of AMR Sonoma Life Support as a recipient of the Community Service Award. Melissa managed and staffed a county COVID-19 testing site within the Sonoma County Health Department. Working with passion and pride, Leonelli created a robust system able to test thousands of community members, EMS, and healthcare workers. Because of her involvement, the project has successfully helped the county accomplish widespread testing availability. Thank you, Melissa, for your incredible leadership and commitment.
Hi, everyone. I just want to start off by saying it's both an honor and a privilege to be receiving this award. I'd like to accept it both for myself and also for all of my peers and coworkers that worked tirelessly in the last year in the COVID response, both in the field and other facets. We all started this profession because we wanted to help people, and that certainly looked much different over the last year. So thank you again. This is quite an honor and my privilege to accept.
Congratulations and thank you to Melissa. The Civilian Award for EMS recognizes a civilian, a non-certified, non-healthcare provider who provides extraordinary service during the course of an EMS emergency. Awards are based relatively upon the degree of patient outcome, extreme conditions, or extraordinary circumstances. Will Jonathan Halcomb please come up to the stage? Oh, sorry, I'm having flashbacks to 2019. Okay, we're virtually honoring Jonathan Halcomb of Coalinga with the Civilian Award for EMS for the year 2020. At a family gathering on the 4th of July, DSH Coalinga Hospital police officer Jonathan Halcomb saw the signs in his 3-year-old nephew of lack of oxygen flow and jumped in the pool. He had a family member call 911, set his nephew on the edge of the pool, and perform 3 rounds of CPR on his 3-year-old nephew. Officer Halcomb, along with his brother-in-law, who is a registered nurse, assisted in completing approximately 3 cycles of compressions with breaths when his nephew began coughing up water. He placed his nephew in the recovery position until his nephew started to cry and a few minutes later, the ambulance arrived at the scene. His presence and actions helped keep other family members calm during the crisis. In recognition of his heroism, he was presented the Office of Protective Services Life-Saving Medal at a recognition ceremony held in the officer's honor. And with that, we're going to take a short break to prepare for our last few big awards. So please stand by, and we will be back in just a few minutes.
Bye.
Now we will be presenting the 2020 of the Year Awards. First, EMT of the Year. The EMT of the Year Award honors an EMT, EMT2, or paramedic who is exemplary in their quality of patient care and dedication to their community. To present the 2020 EMT of the Year Award, we have with us today, I have the pleasure of introducing Jane Smith from the CareStar Foundation.
Hi. Good afternoon, EMS family. My name is Jane Smith, and I'm a paramedic. I'm a director with 2 paramedic nonprofit boards, and I'm also a trustee with CareStar Foundation. And today, I'm actually wearing my CareStar hat. So we at CareStar Foundation are expanding our predecessor Air Rescue legacy, CalStar. It is through our mission that we support EMS to improve health outcomes for all Californians using a racial equity lens to fund and advocate for improvements to our emergency response system. However, today we are proud to announce Troy Keenan as California's EMT of the Year for 2020. Paramedic Troy Keenan is being awarded for his dedication, selflessness, and impressive leadership skills while consistently providing his community with exemplary emergency care. As a flight paramedic with Enloe Medical Center, Mr. Keenan continuously invests time and effort into educating himself and providing noteworthy care. Always setting an example by exceeding the standard, he worked extra shifts to help improve his community during the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as previous wildfires. So thank you, Troy.
Hi guys, Troy Keenan here. I'd just like to say that I'm incredibly honored, thankful, and humbled to be recognized here today. And to all the other recipients, congratulations.
Congratulations to Troy, and thank you to Jane Smith for presenting the award. Jane, along with former Emsa Deputy Chief Dan Smiley, actually founded the awards back in 2007, and so we thank her for helping us continue the tradition, as well as for her service on the EMS Commission. The next award is EMS Educator of the Year. The EMS Educator of the Year Award honors an EMS educator who excels both as a teacher or who has made a significant contribution to the EMS education program in the state of California. Today, EMS Commission Chair, Dr. Attila Unner, will be presenting the award to Ed Vadroska of Del Mar and California State Parks.
Thank you so much. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce Ed Vadroska from Del Mar and the California State Parks Department, as well as the San Diego Miramar College. As we all know, EMS is a small world, and we are likely to run into anyone we interact with again sometime in the future. So I first met Ed when I set up a lifeguard EMS education day for UCLA emergency medicine residents 3 years ago, so for 40 emergency medicine doctors in training. Ed was tagged to give the lecture on drowning and submersion injury. One of the goals for those EMS days for doctors is to expose physicians in training to experts in emergency medicine who are not physicians, so that they understand and absorb the reality that it takes experts from all backgrounds to make EMS work. They could not have encountered a more enthusiastic, dedicated, and engaging person than Ed. His lecture was absolutely fantastic, received rave reviews from our resident physicians, and taught us all facts and nuances on water emergencies that we were not aware of. But beyond teaching medicine, Ed was such a positive ambassador for EMS that all these physicians will forever associate his expertise, passion, and genuine kindness with lifeguard operations and with EMS in general. Ed Vadroska is truly an exceptional educator and an exceptional person. Mr. Ed Vadroska is being awarded the EMS Educator of the Year for his dedication to teaching and educating tomorrow's EMS professionals for over 4 decades. As a lifeguard, nurse, EMT, and teacher, Ed Vadroska is an inspiration to learners who have dedicated themselves to serving others. In his role as an EMS educator with California State Parks, Ed Vadroska has been a core member of the lifeguard instructor staff for 25 years, teaching over 1,000 ocean lifeguards. Congratulations, Ed Vadroska.
Hi, Ed Vadroska here. Thank you so much for honoring me with this award of being the EMSA Educator of the Year. You know, as teachers, a small part of us goes into every one of our students, and that is a very gratifying thing for us to know as educators. I want to thank some of my mentors, Mike Silvestri from the California State Parks, Jack Feuderan from the California State Parks, and Mary Cartensen from Miramar College. Thanks again. Hey, first of all, I want to thank you, Dr. Uner, my good friend Dr. Uner, for giving me the opportunity to speak to those residents. That was honestly one of the highlights of my literary career. I also want to thank the EMSA for honoring a simple lifeguard for this award. When I hear the stories of these other amazing people, it's very, very humbling to me. We do share a common bond in the nature of emergency medicine, and it's something that permeates all of our ranks, especially in listening to these stories. The common thread is that when some tragedy happens and the crowd parts, it's us that go in. It's you that go in. The nurses, the physicians, the lifeguards, all of you. And that's an amazing thing. That is the epitome of valor and service. In this role as emergency practitioners, you endure long hours, incredible stress, emotionally devastating situations, and you witness some of the most awful things that are imaginable, these grotesque injuries, and the effects of human violence on other humans, things that are emotionally, spiritually, physically damaging. You are cursed at, you are exposed to communicable diseases, you are spit upon, you're slandered. These are all parts of the job that you signed up to do. It takes an amazing person to work in emergency medicine. And I applaud every person that's been nominated and awarded today, that you would use your God-given talents, your intelligence, and your compassion, most of all, to serve those in need. So first of all, my salute is to you all. During COVID, which happened to be my last year as in service, I decided to write a book. And I wanted to honor lifeguards who I felt were underappreciated in the emergency medical world. And I wrote a book called Stories from Sea Level. I had hoped that it might sell 200 copies, just honoring these great men and women who had performed these heroic rescues. Many of them had won the Medal of Valor. At last count, the book has sold already 1,500 copies. So the take-home point is people are completely invested in what we do. They love what we do, and they love heroes. And I want you all to know that. I've worked 45 years in the field as an ocean lifeguard, an EMT, and as a registered nurse, and I've treated countless patients. But honestly, my greatest reward has come in education. In education, we inspire others, and I've tried my best to do that. I want to read a little excerpt from a letter that I keep. And this letter was written to me probably 10 years ago, and I still keep this. It was written from an EMT student that was one of my personal students. He said, Ed, today I did CPR for the first time on a small child at a pool party After telling the distracted parents to go inside to call 911, I fell into a rather automated, almost peaceful mechanical cycle of doing breaths and compressions. And I watched as that boy's body underwent flexion and extension, and his mouth gasped fish-like in agonal respirations. Naturally, I figured that he was circling the drain, but thankfully I was wrong. After I completed a few cycles of CPR, his skin turned from purple back to his normal color, and I was ecstatic when I noticed his chest rise and fall. I reached to his neck and confirmed a strong pulse had returned. The strange thing about the whole experience is that I'm not sure how much time actually passed from when I started and when the paramedics arrived. In actuality, it was probably 2 or 3 minutes, but it felt like just seconds. Even stranger than this, I actually didn't get an adrenaline rush until after the paramedics took him away and I had time to contemplate the gravity of the situation I had just been in. I'm so accustomed to the drill of doing CPR on cold plastic dummies that doing CPR on a real person felt surreal. Despite a few mistakes, I did what I was trained to do, and that child went from a breathless, pulseless purple body into a breathing, heart-pumping child who is alive today. Upon reflecting on all this, I want to thank you personally for giving me the instruction and training which allowed me to perform as I did today. As a lifeguard trainee, when you crumpled up my yellow CPR skill sheet and threw it back at me saying, "Wrong," I thank you for forcing me to memorize CPR until I no longer even have to think about it. My training as a lifeguard and as an EMT allowed me to physically save a child's life today, and I will carry that reward with me for the rest of my life. That was written by a gentleman named Blake Morgan, who, by the way, now is Dr. Blake Morgan. Again, you don't need many of these letters to gratify what we do as educators. So to all of you educators out there, I want to leave you with one simple message, one simple point that I want you to carry with you. All of our methods carry on in our students, our tricks, our methods, our acronyms, all of that stuff. But the greatest gift of all that you can give your students is that of passion. Give your students the passion. It's a great day to be a state lifeguard. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ed, for your kind, considerate, and remarkable words, and congratulations on your award. The next award we have is the EMS Medical Director of the Year. The EMS Medical Director of the Year award honors a physician who serves or has served the EMS system by providing medical direction, online or offline, and who has served with distinction. It's my pleasure today to introduce Dr. Duncan, Emsa Director, who will be announcing the 2020 EMS Medical Director of the Year.
Thank you, Sergi. It is just beyond my pleasure to be able to present this award to a near and dear friend, Dr. Hernando Garzon of Sacramento. I want to just mention first that I had honestly nothing to do with this award, but it was so reassuring to see that he got it. I just want to sort of give the story. Jennifer Lim was walking down the hall and yelled over to my office and said, "Hey, guess who the medical director of the year is?" And I was like, I hadn't even really thought about it. And she said, "Dr. Garzon." It's like, perfect, man. I couldn't have done that better myself. But I want to tell you why. And I'm sure most of the folks in the audience know that and know the story here to a degree. But the state has markedly benefited from Dr. Garzon's presence over the COVID emergency over the last year and a half. And I'm sure most of you know Dr. Hernando Garzon is Sac County's EMS medical director, has been for, I know it's over a decade, it's probably decades, and served that county, one of the largest in the state, incredibly well. But what many don't know is to say that Dr. Garzon is passionate about disaster response would be the understatement of the day. He's a USART member. He's responded to numerous events, earthquakes, hurricanes, Ebola. I know he was in Africa for a couple of months and came back and reported out to all of us at MDAC and told us what Ebola was all about. A little Freudian slip there, MDAC, Ebola, I don't know. But that said, I think it was late March, we're just getting creamed with setup for the pandemic. And and somebody asked me, I think in the SOC or the governor's office, you need some help. Why don't you reach out to somebody? And I called Dr. Garzon, one of the few names I thought that were appropriate in my Rolodex, and asked him if he was willing to come help, in the SOC. And I asked him what he was doing. He said, well, I was supposed to go on vacation, but it just got canceled because all the flights are canceled. So I'm stuck here in Sacramento with nothing to do for a month. And I was like, oh, check. And asked him if he'd be willing to help participate with the pandemic response, here in the SOC. And he said, well, yeah, when would you like me to come down? We can talk about it. And I said, well, it's 3:30. Can you be here at 4? You got a half hour, just come on down, show you what we got to do. And lo and behold, I think it was a Saturday even. He'll fix that date if not, but he shows up on a Saturday, showed up, every day to help and deliver all the assistance he could. He helped we at Emsa for probably the first month or two, but his skill set was so remarkable that CDPH lassoed him, wrangled him in. A true unicorn, i.e., I've seen emergency physician, internists, emergency physician, pediatricians. I've even seen emergency physicians, psychiatrists, but to see an emergency physician epidemiologist is kind of a rare breed. And for him and his skill set to come and spend the next year at the SOC literally every day, in spite of doing emergency department shifts, was so above and beyond the call of duty. And we're grateful. We're really grateful, Hernando. He helped develop models to predict impending surge with CDPH, crunch data day in and day out to try and identify early warning systems for us, and help develop dashboards that we've all used for the pandemic, for COVID-19, with respect to hospital data, patient data, case rate data, you name it. And he does that with a smile. So it is my absolute pleasure to present this honor to a well-deserved physician who, first time I met, was actually an attending of mine at Kaiser South Sacramento in, sorry, I think I broke up there when I probably said the year, but it was one of those years in the 90s. So Hernando, thank you for everything, and well-deserved.
Hi, everybody. It is very much an honor to be recognized as the 2020 EMS Medical Director of the Year by the State EMS Authority. It's something that obviously I couldn't have done without an incredible team in the Sacramento County EMS office, and really without the support of the EMS community statewide and the other medical directors, EMS medical directors in the state. So thank you very much to the committee. And it is an honor to be acknowledged and to receive the award. Thank you.
Congratulations to Dr. Garzon on his award. The EMS Administrator of the Year Award honors an EMS system administrator who has distinguished themselves through noteworthy contribution to a local, regional, or to the statewide EMS system. Today, we have the pleasure of having Sean Russell from Global Medical Response introduce the 2020 EMS Administrator of the Year.
Thank you, Sergi. As mentioned, I'm Sean Russell, Pacific Region President of AMR and REACH. And first and foremost, I want to say congratulations to this year's award recipients and the amazing work that they've done. It's been an honor to listen and hear these amazing words and stories. And most importantly, thank you all for the EMS professionals that serve every day. At REACH and AMR, we're so honored to serve California EMS systems up and down the state and work closely with our LIMSAs on a regular basis. And with that, we really appreciate and recognize the many EMS leaders that serve in the capacity of EMS Administrator and the work they do. So it's very much an honor to be here to present this award, but equally as important, this year's recipient is someone that I've had the pleasure of knowing in various capacities over the years, and know the quality person that she is, and I know that she's very deserving of this recognition. I'm proud to announce Kristen Lavoda, of the Yolo County EMS Agency as the 2020 EMS Administrator of the Year. Kristen, in this capacity at Yolo County, has been a nationally registered paramedic for nearly 20 years. She's taught in EMS and EMS education for 14 years. And in 2013 became the EMS Administrator for Yolo County, where she oversees emergency preparedness and mass care and sheltering. Some of Kristen's notable contributions include she helped improve legislation in preserving county EMS authority and further patient protections. And she worked tirelessly to bring counties together on contentious issues, including COVID-19 data gathering and policy issues with other public agencies. Kristen was tasked by Yolo County to create their own county EMS agency and system. Successfully doing so is one of the biggest accomplishments of her career. With that, I'm very proud and honored to recognize and present Kristen, EMS Administrator of the Year. Kristen?
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it, and thank you, the State of California EMS Authority. I appreciate the recognition, and I am undoubtedly honored to accept this award. And I just want to take a moment and congratulate everyone else and all my peers for the awards that they've received today and all your continued work into improving our EMS system. Thanks you, and that's it.
Well, we're done. Congratulations to all of the 2020 EMS Award recipients. Thank you for your contributions to the EMS system statewide in California. You are our superheroes, you are our neighbors and best friends. Thank you so much for attending our show. This is our first virtual platform and hopefully our last. But anyway, all of our award recipients shall receive one of these pertinent to their award, and a number of you, lucky winners, will also get a challenge coin for 2020. So lastly, thank you to all the nominators. We would have not known about these folks if it weren't for you.
Very good. And for all the other contestants, some rice-a-roni, the San Francisco treat. We'd also like to say thanks to Dr. Attila Uner for partnering with the California EMS Authority to make this event possible, as well as Jane Smith and Sean Russell for presenting our other of the year awards, and especially our own Dr. Duncan. Oh, sorry. This event wouldn't be possible without our wonderful sponsors, Life Assist Inc., the CareStar Foundation, and AMR Reach Air Medical.
Yes, as Ken mentioned, thank you, Dr. Duncan. Thank you, Ed and Kristen, for your kind words today in receiving of the awards. I'd also like to thank Deputy Director Jennifer Lim and my colleague Kent Gray, those who are pictured off camera, just over here in the distance. Dana Hashimu, Caitlin Cranfill, and Veronica Skroskaya, who helped us out. And a big, big thank you to Todd and Rachel from Paragon. We're grateful for your help ensuring the success of today's event. Thanks everyone for partaking in this virtual ceremony. We hope you have a happy, safe summer. And like Dr. Duncan said at the top of the show, great afternoon. We at EMSA look forward to picking up where 2019 left off in the future with an in-person event in 2021. So stay tuned. And EMSA accepts nominations for these awards anytime, any day. So please, please get people nominated. We would love to hear about them and their stories. Anytime you can go to EMSA, that's emsa.ca.gov/awards for more info on the nominations. That's all for us, folks. Thank you.
Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
There we go. Thank you, everyone.
Have a great afternoon. Bye.
Bye.